Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 and the Survival Series. So, April, day 3, final day in April, so we're just about to hit May, and we've finished off pretty much what we were doing in the last episode. It's all done now, so the bales that we started off are all finished, and as you can tell, we've got a pretty good yield on this. Not too bad at all, really, and we're going to sell all these. Don't need too much grass this year round, so we're going to sell every single bit of silage that we do get. So I'm happy about that. Now, I did mention in the last episode as well, when I was going through the baling, that I did think there was an updated version of the baler that we were using, that McHale, and I was right. And it's an update by Mark Thor himself. So what I've done is kind of put that mod in, replaced the version that I had. So it updated into this, and because of that, we now have a bigger size bale capability. So as I was finishing off the last few rows, I decided to go with the bigger bales, which is about 500. I think it's 5,500 litres, so a lot better than 3,500. And you can see the difference in size here. So that's good to see. So that'll make easier work when it comes to the next cut that we do, if we do silage bales. And even the hay bales or anything like that, straw bales that we do, and we're going to get some serious straw. So yeah, it's good to see. So they're gonna ferment. We're going to probably leave them in that field for this episode, just because it's a lot of work just to pick them up, and I do want to kind of focus on what we were saying on the tail end of the last video, which was to try and do some logging to bring in some money. We do need to set the sawmill going again with the planks, because that's going to bring in some really good money. So if we can get that activated again, that'll be really good. And then I do want to try and purchase quite a few items as well. Depends how we get on with the logging. So I did make a start of the logging, and the trees that were in this section here that have been fully grown, and the ones that we planted, I've chopped down. And as you can see, I've made a start. So this trailer is all full. We're going to take that straight away and sell it for cash. And then the next load we do over there we'll use to process into planks. This is the baler itself. It's pretty much exact to what we had before, but we now have the capabilities of going up to the 150 size. And it's a little bit quicker as well. It comes with some good sound effects. There is also something else I want to purchase that I saw on sale in the shop, so we're going to go and do that, as well as trying to get that log. Well, it's that I don't even know what the name is. It's a logging collector. I don't even know. It's probably a stupid name, but my brain's going there, so we'll call it that. Yeah, it's part of the Platinum DLC. It's a Volvo. I was showing you before. It is quite slow, and I did see a comment about it being slow, but I think for where we're at, that's not too bad. It's going to be better than what we're using right now, I imagine. So let's just dump that off there. And then what I want to do is actually going to send this up to the store, because we're going to use this to purchase our first thing and bring it back. So go to the shop, marmite, and we'll leave you to it. At least that's there waiting. And if we jump over to, we'll get there eventually. There we go. We'll get to the Massey. Probably not the right vehicle to do this in. So actually, yes, let's disconnect and get on the Landini, because the Landini with the tyres, that noise is so annoying when you switch between vehicles. I know what mod causes it, but the mod is worth it. It's not something I'm going to deactivate for the sound, but it does get quite annoying at times when you skip between vehicles and you hear that crazy sound for that second. Let's get onto this, send this up, get some money, and then we get straight back to the shop and carry on. Now, all the fields do need fertiliser. All of them do, but we're going to wait until the next stage of growth before we do that. It's too soon. We need to hit May, really. We'll start seeing the crops growing then, and then we'll apply the fertiliser. I'm hoping this brings in some good cash. The first item I want to buy is only about 5,500, I think it was. So yeah, I'm hoping this will bring me close to about 9,000. But I do want to buy that Volvo, so we're gonna have to keep logging, chop down the ones that we've been, well, the ones that have grown are from our first plant that we did, like stage 1 of our planting in the trees to kind of make money off. I'm going to start chopping some of them down. And with the Platinum as well, expansion, it has made it a little bit better, because you can see now when you chop in, the size of the actual log itself that I'll put in. What I was using before is a lot easier now because you don't need to keep putting a point on the map to then measure from. It just automatically measures each side of the log. So if I actually get out the chainsaw now, for example, bring up the F1 menu, you can see that I've got length there in the top left corner. Just at the bottom of the F1 menu, it says 5.7 on the left hand side and then 0.9 on the right, and that's basically telling me that the difference between the sizes if I chop. So you can see that right in the middle we're pretty much there, 3.2, 3.3, and if you go to this end, 0.4 is the size of this. But yeah, I find that really useful because if I can keep doing like 5 or 6 meter size cuts, so yeah, I like it, really good. Where are we at? This is the trigger somewhere. There we go. Sell the wood. We've got 7,600. That's not bad at all. We do need a bit of fuel, so let's go back this way, get a bit of fuel, and then we'll jump to the guy who's headed up to the store and we'll make our first purchase. Right, so let's refuel this. Now I don't know if we have much fuel left in the tank. Ah, we should be alright. We've got 433 litres left in this diesel tank, so, and only 88 in the actual Landini, so probably soon we're going to have to order some more fuel, or pay for some more fuel to be delivered into the diesel tank. But I'll just wait now and let this fill up, and then we'll get up to the store, like I said, make that first purchase, bring it back, and then we can go and sell something else. It's hopefully going to bring us in probably around the same amount of money that we've just generated from that load of logs. Right, so I'm at the shop, and the item that was actually on sale is no longer on sale, but luckily, even though it cost about 5,500 or 5,000 before, it still only cost 6,500. We're going to buy it, which is this trailer here that's got auto load feature, but for items that we're trying to sell. Now, I think this is really useful because it holds 16,000 litres and it can pretty much pick up, from what it looks like, anything. So we're going to go and get this because we've got some wool to sell that's at the right time. So why not do that? I'm just going to change the colours. Just because why not? Even though it's £1,000 more. Do you know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to keep the base colours. Yeah, we'll keep the base colours because it's just easier and it's cheaper. So let's buy this. And it's out there. So this tractor's just got here as well. So that's perfect timing. There we go. And we'll take it back. And we're going to go sell the wool. We've got to bring it up to here because it is the perfect time to sell the wool, thankfully. I do want to try this out because I think this could be really useful for the sugar beets that we're producing. And anything really that we sell, eggs, even the milk if we decide to take that up. But we're not going to be taking that up whether we've got automatically selling that. But this, pretty nifty trailer. Like I said, it holds 16,000 litres. It looks like of every item we want to sell, and it will automatically load into them crates. We can then drive it to the location we want to sell it at, which only on this map is just that one location. So, yeah, I just think it was easy to do, and even though we now need to try and generate another 30,000, I think we can do that. 3 good loads of logs, and we'll get there. But before we do that, before we do some logging, which is probably going to be the time-lapse because obviously it's going to be quite hefty to get 3 loads done, let's go and sell this wool and just see how this works because, yeah, I think this can be a really useful item for us. Let's just check first that it is what it says on the tin. And we haven't been sold something that doesn't work, because you never know. Right, so we're at our first animal pen, the sheep's pen, and we're going to just try and pick up some of this wool. I'm hoping that this works a treat. As far as I know, we can, yeah, just drive up to it, I guess. It's doing something. I don't know where the trigger is. There is a trigger. It's actually filling it up, as you can see. But that 5,000, there we go. We got there in the end. That was a bit strange. But yeah, it's all done. So it's in there. You can see that it's kind of boxed it up. I put it within the the pallets, which is fine. That means it's easy for us to travel with it. But what we're going to do is, you've probably noticed that the sheep that were in here, which wasn't many, it was, to be honest, it was a wasted space. It wasn't when we started, but it is now, because we've obviously got the new sheep area, which holds a lot more sheep, and this one was maxed out, so they weren't breeding, they weren't doing anything, just consuming food and giving me a tiny amount of wool. So what I did is I sold all the animals in this pen, and I then basically bought them again over in that pen. So we've got quite a few going on over there now, which is where obviously the majority of our wool's going to come from. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell this now, use that space hopefully for something a little bit better. We can actually sell some of these as well, because we can put our own decorations in after. We may as well get rid of these. There we go. So that's gone. Probably going to extend it out, maybe make something here that's just a little bit more useful. Could put another shed in, and I am going to chop down these trees because they're a bit of a pain. They work in a sense, but sometimes they're not the best thing. So we'll get rid of them as well. But let's go to the other sheep pen now. Have a look to see if they've produced any wool, and try and figure out what this trigger is, because it's a little bit temperamental. It wasn't straightforward as I hoped, but the good thing about this, it's supposed to hold planks as well. So instead of actually manually moving all the planks, we could, you know, use this. It's a lot more trips because it's only 80,000 litres, whereas I can probably fit a lot more pallets onto a trailer than this. But yeah, I'd have to find out. So there is a bit of wool there. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do this, because there's a trigger somewhere. I'm just trying to figure out whereabouts that is on this trailer. Right, so it's just taken, yeah, it's definitely taken the wool. And we've got 6,731 litres, and it's pretty much 42% full, so not too bad. Quickly, what I'm going to do before we send this off, I'm just going to press the F5 menu, and you can see that the trigger around that is quite wide. So yeah, it shouldn't be an issue. That actually should work pretty well. Well, let's head up to the store and get this sold. Right, we're nearly there, we're nearly there. We are running low on fuel again in this one, but I do think this is the one that doesn't hold much fuel. It would be nice to get another tractor. I still think we're using this one quite a bit. I mean, we could have switched over to the Massey, which obviously is faster, kind of performs better. I just think we need a kind of fast track, an old school fast track, something that's got high speeds, isn't too expensive, but we can use to transport to the shop, because obviously the shop is a bit of a distance. So that would be pretty sweet, but we'll figure that out. But let's go and sell this. So I'm hoping now it is just as simple as selling. There we go. Just one load. There we go. We made 8,250, pretty much 250 pounds. They're not bad. I mean, we're going to hopefully make a lot more than that next time round, because we've got more sheep now. So that's pretty decent. But it's nice to have this trailer. It's obviously a lot easier transporting things like that. Definitely. So let's go back to not home. Where's probably the best place to store this? Let's go sheeps and sheds and then see what happens. I think that should be alright. And then we can focus on doing this. Again, this is really easy right now because of this setup we've got with this. Chopping's become easier. I'm just hoping when we get the Volvo, we keep it a little bit easy. But it's probably more in line with the Volvo. I like to get used to the idea as well when using them tools, because even though I feel like I'm good with a front loader and a telehandler, it's a different wheel when it comes to the logging side. I've not actually got hands-on too much with that. And yeah, I think it's going to be more of a challenge. Holy cow. Holy, that is pretty tricky in itself. Let's see if we can shorten the amount we're picking up here. There we go, that's much better. I mean, this is a really, really easy way of doing this, I'll be honest. It's not realistic, but at the end of the day, we're still not cheating. Maybe we are a little bit, I don't know. Ah well, it's fun to do it this way. That's why I kind of want the Volvo, because that should be straightforward. And I think with the trees that we got, the stone pine, that are obviously growing quite nice, that's going to make a difference with the stone pine. I really do think so, because they are pretty chunky. That is a fair load. So that should do me. Let's head back up now and sell this. We've got to get to that 35,000 mark. We're doing all right. We're at 16,000. This could bring us probably 10,000 shy. Yeah, I think it might be around 10,000 shy where we need to be. So we could sell 2 more loads. We've got a lot of spruce that are ready to be chopped, which is from that first plantation we did, which is near the entrance and the bottom of the grass field. We can start chopping through some of them and yeah, bring in that cash. I would like to get that Duitsvar. It's not the best option, but it's good for fertilizer spreading, anything small, even tedding, even rowing. You know, it's a perfect tractor for that. And it's only cheap. It's a bit of an upgrade on the Porsche that we don't use anymore. Look at all them planks. I was going to sell this. I was going to use this load to process through some more planks. I mean, we've already got a lot and we're going to make a lot of money, but yeah. Let's just carry on making more money to get the Volvo, because I kind of really want to see that in action. There we go. So we're at 9,000 now. 9,000. Probably want to do a little bit extra just so we're making some more cash. Just so we've got a little bit in reserve. But let's go and get this started.
There's a place I have never been, on the cover of a magazine, alright. Gotta stay till the bitter end, on the upshot of foreign trends, alright.
Right, so here we are. We've got enough money. That last load actually turned in quite a bit of cash. It was 11,000. So we're here. We're over the threshold. We need 34,000. We're going to be left with about 4,000. So let's just buy this. Really interested to use this. Really am. So it's probably going to be dead slow, but I mean the detail inside and the way it sounds as well is quite impressive. Holy my god, it's got some weird cameras on it, and I have to say though, that sound is impressive. I need to obviously get used to using it. Aha, do you know what? That's not too bad at all. I like the sounds though. I have to say, the sounds on their own are quite impressive. There we go. So let's head down, go the 12 miles an hour, which is obviously rapid. And let's go try and fill this up with a few logs. See what happens. It does look like it's got a bit of a winch on as well, so that might be useful. Something we can start focusing on, the winches, because now with it being in the Platinum Edition for logging, this should be useful, definitely. Just a shame about the speed. And I'm hoping it gets up the hill. Can you imagine if we do all this, fill it up, and then we can't get up the hill? Well, that'll be a bit of a pain, let's be honest. I do like this camera though, that will come in handy. And what feels like an eternity later, we finally arrived. Holy moly, this is slow, but I'm hoping that it was worth it. I actually think that, yes, it's probably going to be a little bit more tricky to do, and probably a lot more work involved. Don't get me wrong, I'm probably still going to use the JCB, just because, you know, why not? It's, there we go. There is a button, I'm looking for it, there we go. So we've moved it around. Let's see if we can do it in this actual camera angle. Still obviously going to get used to this. I do like the fact that it moves the camera, I really do. Okay, so that's that bit done. Do you think we're on point there? No, we're not. We're nowhere near. So that's up and down. That's that way. Let's just see how far we are off. We're gonna have to move it across a bit, aren't we? We don't need to be that close, but I'm probably going to move this around, because that's better when it comes to... Right, so I'm happy with that. Right, it seems like it's grabbed it. This is a complete new way of doing this for me. I'm not massive when it comes to the logging side, so we probably want to... This is going to be tricky. Let's move it back out again. You can tell I'm a complete noob at this, but I'm just going to keep it in because this is truly one of the first times I've ever used anything like this. They are making it a little bit harder than it needs to be just because of the size that I've cut this in. And picking it up from the middle is obviously really important as well. But there we go, we got it in. Now that is a hell of a lot more work, as you can tell. It really is. But, ah well, it's we got there in the end. That's the main thing. We got there in the end. And I've always wanted to use one of these. I think the other machines are probably more useful. I'm hoping so. Anyway, if they're all this hard, then God, kudos and, you know, big respect to all the people that do the logging, because yeah, this is not easy. Not easy at all. Let's see what it's like with this. Now we've done one, let's go and try the small one and see what this is like. So, we've branched out. Let's drop it down just to give us some understanding where we are. We'll spin it round, bring it back again. Drop it down. Ideally, what we want to be doing is probably going a bit more in the middle. There we go. Sounds like it's locked. Now that's better, isn't it? But they're too small, really, for what we want to sell. You know, it seems like it's, yeah, definitely not ideal. Yeah, still getting used to the controls, but I feel like I'm getting a little bit better. But then, at the same time, probably not. Oh well. It is a useful piece of kit to try and practice on. I think it's probably the best way to start with something like this. But while we're trying to make a load of money and sell, obviously, a lot of logs, as you can see, all these trees here need to go. I think we should stick to the same method we've gone with and try and use that a little bit more to practice. So when we get to the stone pine, I would like to get some kind of, you know, logging trailer that has a bigger capacity to hold. So that's obviously only grabbing one log at a time. I'm hoping you can find one that can grab a few at a time. And then, you know, we can actually get the 6 meters, chop them up with a chainsaw manually, just because of the fact that that's the way I kind of want to go. I think 6 meters is the best size. Chop them manually with the chainsaw, obviously get them ready to cart, and then collect them with something a bit more beefy. Now, most of them cost a fortune, and it is a shame because I would like to get something that's got a good grab on it. I mean, you can see these ones here. This is pretty much what we've just used, but it's singular. Obviously got a bigger capacity on the back, though. I mean, that looks pretty decent. That's not too bad, but again, we need something to pick it up with. We can get a big wheel loader with a log grab that way, and that's much better. That's also not bad at all. That holds more. And again, there's an even bigger one there. See, that's the kind of perfect size for us to start hauling. I mean, we've already got one that's similar to that kind of... It looks the same, but it's obviously not as wide as that, or sorry, it doesn't hold as much as that. But yeah, you come down to this, and I don't even know what half this stuff is, I'll be honest. It's got something to do with the... Yeah, this crazy. This one looks like a beast. There is loads of options. I'd love to just get something that can pick up more. And then obviously what we're using currently on the Landini, if we just switch to that quickly. There you go. Like, this is perfect for what we're using now, but we can get much bigger ones than that. We can get something hooked up, even the Landini, but if we can pick up more logs at a time, and a better way of doing it than what we're currently doing, which is obviously by using the method where it's kind of the strapping in game and kind of picks up more than it should. It's easy. It is quite useful for us right now, but I mean, before we were using a front loader with a grab, and that actually worked really well. We could get a wheel loader with a massive grab, and that would also work pretty good. But definitely going to have to do a lot more logging. We're at 4,000. Fields need fertilising as well. You can see that all these fields need fertilising. We need to collect up the grass silage bales, sell them. Now, been looking at this menu again, and if you look at grass silage, grass is pretty much best time to sell is January. Silage as well, what we've got now, we could sell and get 28,000 instead of 33. That's a £5,000 difference. It isn't massive, and if we, obviously all this grass here that you can see is 163,000, if that all ferments, turns into silage, we could probably sell and get another 30,000 here, 28,000. We don't need to wait till January. We can just sell it and then do some more and sell it again and do it that way, just because I don't think the £5,000 justifies waiting all the way till January. We may as well just sell it and get 28 grand in. I think that's probably the best bet. Planks, again, just insane. Completely insane. We're getting close to July, so I will do a couple of loads now with my traditional method just because it's a bit more efficient, and I'll get that processing in quite nicely. Let's turn that off. I'll turn it on. Yeah, we'll get a few. I'll get a few of these trees chopped up. I'll take a couple of loads up to process as planks, so that's going. I'll probably sell another 3 loads as well in between this episode and the next one, just so we've got a bit of money, and we've kind of given ourselves a bit of a head start as well, because it is quite long-winded, and I could carry on doing the time lapses, but I think it's probably best if I just get through it using the JCB, this grab, which is really useful, and obviously the Landini and hauling it up that way. And then hopefully we'll have a bit of cash behind us. Going into the next episode, we'll be getting closer. Obviously, we'll be in May. 1 more month and we'll start selling the planks again. Or is it July? Yes, it is July. So 2 more months and we'll start selling the planks. It's just going to give us a massive amount of money. And then we've obviously got a massive field of soybeans over there to go with the other field of soybeans, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 in total. And then we've obviously got the root crops. So we're going to do well. Sell the silage as we go. This needs fertilising just like all the other fields do. So there is quite a few jobs, but I'm still hopeful the end of this year we'll make more money than we've ever done in the previous years, and we can start upping everything that we're doing, even maybe looking at some production features. And I think that's probably the best way to go. Logging will always be the main source of income on this, because it's just insane the amount of money you can get from logging. Probably is the most lucrative way of making money in the game for me, especially on hard difficulty. Even though silage has always been really good because the amount of cuts you can get, I still think logs is the way to go, because even on hard difficulty, your turnover is just insane. It's really good. But on that note, I am going to leave the video there. So like I said, I will be doing quite a lot in between, mainly logging. So in the next episode, we'll probably focus on the silage, selling that if it's fermented. If not, we'll be doing the fertilising, and then we'll have a look again at the planks processing, because we'll be getting close to that. But really, we're waiting now to do a lot more, to do some more grass work, and then obviously focus on getting some of them planks sold, making some money, and then eventually we'll be working on the soybeans. So a lot going on, and hopefully we'll bring in a shed ton of cash and probably upgrade something really good next time around. Maybe a few production buildings could go down that route. But so thanks for watching, really do appreciate it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up, because that does help my channel out every time. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.